My name is Matt Enns, and I am the CEO and head coach of Sovereign Man Professional Coaching Company, where we help men restore their masculinity and save their marriage. And we have the leading success rate in the industry at helping men pull their marriage back from the verge of divorce. And the reason for that is largely attributable to a single idea, and that is called being the lighthouse. This is what most of our programs are built on top of. And I want to walk you through what that idea is and how you can begin implementing it in your marriage today to get some real success right off the bat. And part of why we do this is we want to lead with value. We want to show you just a tiny fraction of the things that we work with on our clients so that you can see that our programs are very different and you can understand through your own initial success why our program can help you be successful in the long run. So what is being the lighthouse? The lighthouse is the ability to stay calm and present in the face of a feminine emotional storm. Now, if you're going through divorce, there's a very high likelihood that you have dealt with some emotional storms from your wife. And what typically happens when a man is faced with the feminine emotional storm is he tries to stay calm, he tries to stay present, he begins to interact with what he says, but he gets distracted by something that she says that he thinks is inaccurate or unfair and unappreciative, and he begins to get defensive. He goes into his own feminine, he becomes reactive, he becomes unstable, he starts storming back at her. Maybe he pouts or gets pouty and walks away and is grumpy for a couple of hours. Maybe he kind of gets beaten down and like a little unhappy boy kind of acts all beaten down and is unhappy. Maybe he gets afraid of her, maybe he's overwhelmed by her, but maybe he starts taking shots at her, getting angry back, anything like this. And when you do that, you are now entering into your own feminine, and now you've got two feminine emotional storms that are bashing against each other, and that is not going to produce calm in the relationship. With all of this talk about men and women being the same, men and women being equal, there being no such thing such as gender, nobody teaches us that men and women have different roles to play in relationship. And the most important role that you can play in the relationship is to be her calm in the storm, to be her place of strength and stability and safety, even when she is feeling unsafe inside. And what you'll notice is that when you do this, rather than her getting more and more escalated or more upset, she begins to calm down, and she might do a quick 180 right after the first fight where you implement this and end up melting in your arms and maybe having some intimacy with you rather than the conflict escalating and both of you guys getting more and more upset and heading to different bedrooms. So what is the lighthouse? The lighthouse is unaffected by the storm. The lighthouse does not storm back. The lighthouse does not wobble. The lighthouse, no matter how bad the storm is, continues to stand strong and tall. That's a phallic symbol. It's not an accident. And continues to spin his light and offer guidance and support. The lighthouse does not enter into the storm. The lighthouse remains unmoved by the storm. The lighthouse is unthreatened. The lighthouse remains conscious and aware of what's happening. He can see through whatever fact she's bringing up, that you did this wrong or you did that wrong or you've never done this, you've never done that. And he sees through that to the underlying emotional reality that she's experiencing. So when she throws facts at him, he dodges all of the facts and meets her on that emotional level and validates what she's feeling. Now, you don't have to agree with what she's feeling. You don't have to think that it's factually accurate or logical. You just have to recognize that underneath those facts, which may or may not be accurate, she is feeling very disconnected in the relationship. And what she needs from you is to connect on that emotional level. And when you do, on the other side of that connection, then she'll be able to see the facts that you want to present. She'll be able to see your take on the conflict. She'll be able to see your perspective, but she will not be able to see any of that until she is first met with calm, grounded, masculine safety and stability, which is what she so badly needs. So to summarize that, when she gets upset, you want to remain unfazed, right? And it takes a very, very strong man to do this. And we spend a lot of time working on men's inner emotional state. That's actually the most effective work we do, because that makes implementing this much more easy. But even if you haven't done a lot of internal work, if you can begin to act this out, you will begin on an emotional level to be comfortable playing that role. You will not need to rely on things like defensiveness or anger or lashing back or insulting her or playing tit for tat and saying, yeah, but you did this, yeah, but you did this, but yeah, I did it this way. You won't be defensive. You won't feel the need to defend yourself like that. You will instead be unfazed in the face of her emotional storm. And that will provide her with incredible emotional safety, which is far more likely to put her in a soft, feminine, receptive state than being proven wrong in the argument. Because ask yourself, how many times have you proven her wrong? And I'm saying where you actually were correct, where factually you were 100% correct and she was 100% wrong. And after you proved her wrong, she calmed down. My guess is almost never. Probably what happened is you proved her wrong and she got more upset. Her storm got more dramatic and more drastic. And what that does to us is we end up thinking she's crazy, she's irrational. Why am I married to this person? She's narcissistic, she's selfish. because we don't understand how the feminine mind works, because nobody talks about the difference between the masculine and the feminine mind. But if you can be calm and supportive and see her through that storm on the other side of it, then she will, like I said, see your perspective. She will calm down. She will be in her feminine. And whatever she was upset about before, you won't even probably have to address it, because all of those problems she had will begin to evaporate once she feels safe in your presence. And we're going to talk about why that is. There's a couple of reasons that she is storming at you. And you're going to think that why she's storming at you, why she's so upset, why she's angry is because of whatever issues she brings up. That is not why she's upset. She is grabbing nearby facts to attach to her feelings to try to get you to see her feelings. So she might complain that you never do the dishes, and you're going to go, hold on, I did the dishes Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and you only did them once. I've actually done them way more than you. And then she's going to get angry, which is so upsetting for us because we think, hey, you said something, it wasn't true. I showed you it wasn't true. And then instead of saying, oh, good point, husband, you're right, I was wrong, she gets more upset. This baffles us, right? But it's not because your wife is crazy. And you can look at her and you can say, hey, look, I see in so many areas of her life that she's capable, intelligent, strong. She's all of these admirable qualities. And yet in these arguments, she seems absolutely nuts to me. This is why. When she's in a feminine emotional storm, she's looking for two things. Number one, can he handle my storm? And number two, is what I'm feeling as bad as it feels like it is, right? So we're going to go through both of those. Let's say that she's upset and she doesn't know what to do and she's overwhelmed and life is too much for her. She's going to come at you with a storm in that case, right? Not because necessarily she wants to fight with you, but because what she's feeling is too much for her to feel. And so she's going to go to her man, her source of safety in the world, the strong person who protects her and makes her feel loved, safe, and supported. And she's going to throw all that emotion that she can't handle at him. And if he responds defensively or he gets upset or he enters into his own feminine, then she goes, whoa, this thing that I couldn't handle, it's actually way worse than I thought it was because it's destabilized him. So if she was feeling it 50% before, she's feeling it 110% now, right? She's going to gauge how bad her emotional issue is by how you react to it. And you've probably had these moments in your relationship where she's come to you because she's panicked about something being scary or something like this, and you react like it's not a big deal, and she immediately calms down. Don't take this the wrong way, but it's not that much different than your small child at the park who gets a scraped knee, right? Your kid's running out of the park. She falls down, scrapes her knee. She runs over to daddy. She goes, Daddy, how bad is it? Do I have to go to the hospital? Is it bleeding? Do I have to get a needle? Am I going to get my leg taken off? Do I have to get a cast? And you look at it, you go, no, baby, it's just a little scratch. You're fine. Go play. And because daddy didn't react like it was scary, your daughter now goes, I can calm down and I can go back to playing. Now, I'm not saying your wife is a child, but I'm saying you can play this same supportive role for her that you can for your daughter. And the only reason you don't play it for your wife is because you expect her not to be that way. Whereas your daughter, you expect that she's going to be that way, so it's okay. So expect your wife to be this way. Change your expectations so that you can change your reaction. And the next time she comes to you with an over-the-top emotional storm, you can meet her with your own calm and say, hey, it's okay. It's not that bad. And she's going to respond by saying, well, yes, it is. And yes, it is. But you did this and you're horrible this and you've always done this and you never did this. And my ex-boyfriend never did this. And you're just like your dad. And she's going to say all these things. And she's not doing this on purpose, but at an unconscious level, what she's doing is she's trying to see if she can rattle you. Because if she can rattle you, then her worst fears are confirmed. Everything she's feeling is as terrible as it feels. But if she can't rattle you, then she goes, okay, he doesn't seem to be phased. I've come at him from every possible angle. I've tried to say all these crazy, scary things to get him to see how horrible the situation is. He still doesn't seem to think it's that big of a deal. Okay, I can calm down. And once that happens, she looks at you and she goes, man, I threw everything I had at him. I probably said some things I shouldn't have. Ooh, I really shouldn't have said that. And like, he didn't respond negatively at all. He just loved me and held me and created safety for me. Wow. And at that point, she leans on you. She clings to you. She softens in your arms. And then you get the wife that you've always wanted. Now, obviously, there's a whole lot more to this concept that we teach, but just this idea alone should improve your marriage dramatically day one when you start implementing this. Now, if you try to implement it and fail and end up getting angry and lashing out at her, all the progress is undone. But if you can actually make it through a storm and stay calm, you will be amazed at the 180 she does immediately afterwards. And I'm not saying this theoretically. I'm saying this because I've seen this hundreds and hundreds of times with clients in every single marital scenario you can possibly imagine. This does work. Now, your first few storms that you deal with are going to be a little bit longer because she's not going to be used to coming to you with a storm and having you offer her safety. So she might take a while to get there. But after you've been practicing this for a while, you can undo a storm in 2 or 3 minutes once you get good at this and create that sense of safety so that dinners have ruined, only 5 minutes of appetizers are ruined, and the rest of the day night goes wonderfully and it ends the way you want it to end. So it's very important. The other reason she storms at you, life is too much for her, and she needs to know that you can handle everything out there, right? So it's not necessarily about the thing that she's feeling right now, and she wants to gauge how you emotionally react to the overwhelmingly terrible thing she's going through. She might just be feeling generally unsafe, or some things aren't going well in her life, and she wants to know, is the guy that I'm with capable of handling all of the dangers in the world? Is he strong? Is he focused? Does he have a mission? Can he stay on his mission even when I am not in a good place and when I'm storming? And if a woman wants to know, is this guy the guy that I want to marry with, that I want to spend the rest of my life with, that I want to have kids with, that I want to trust to protect me from all of the dangers in the world for the next 40 years, she has to test how capable you are emotionally. Now, there are women who will consciously admit to doing this, but it's usually not the very healthy ones who do this. It's usually the ones who do this for bad reasons. Most women will not know they're doing this. This is an unconscious thing. But if you explain it to them, most of them will admit, yeah, that is a part of it. I mean, it's still the issue that I brought up, but yeah, that's a part of it. That's what they're going to say, because they do know that they do this on some level. But keep in mind, it is not on purpose. It's not her being manipulative. It's not her trying to get a certain reaction out of you because she has some devious plan in mind. It's her testing, is the man I'm with capable of staying calm under pressure? Can he handle stress? Can he stay on his mission even when life throws storms his way? Because if he can't, that's not the man that I trust to protect me for the next 40 years. That's not the man that I trust to keep his anger in check when the kids piss him off. These are all things that women are not going to analyze and decide if you're capable. They're going to test it live in a real life stressful situation. How are they going to do that? Bring in a storm to you. And if they bring a storm to you, especially if it's something that's really crazy and really illogical and she just will not let it go, and you're thinking, how can she possibly be upset about this? This is absolutely insane. Probably a good chance that she's testing you to see if you're strong. And again, remember, she's not doing this consciously or on purpose. This is an unconscious process of testing to see if you are the man that she needs you to be to protect her from all the other dangers in the world. And what she'll do is she'll start trying to piss you off. Again, it's not conscious. I can't emphasize that enough. And you'll be in the middle of this fight, you're thinking, okay, she is doing everything she can. She seems like she's just trying to piss me off. And then remind yourself, she's testing the emotional safety. Men are going to analyze a situation and make conclusions about it. She is going to feel her way through a real life emotional scenario and then make her conclusions. Men and women make decisions in different ways. This is reality. You can complain about it. You can say it's not fair, which it isn't. Or you can accept that it's reality like a man, take ownership for it and move on. I suggest you do that. And if you do this, you'll recognize when she's doing things that just seem like, man, she seems like she's trying to piss me off. Remind yourself, oh, she's testing to see, am I man enough to keep my shit together even in a stressful situation? She's not going to trust me to protect her against the bump in the night or the bad guy or my business competitors or guys that are trying to take her away from me if I can't stay in control of my emotions and stay on task, stay stable. And unfortunately, women are very, very good at figuring out if you can actually do this. If you have a button hidden somewhere in your subconscious mind that if she presses it, you will react negatively, I guarantee you she will find that button. And if you've got a bunch of buttons, she's going to find all of them and she's going to keep pressing them over and over and over and over again until she gets a reaction. And if she doesn't, if she's been pressing these buttons and saying things that she should not say to you as a good wife, but she probably will, this is part of the process of connecting with women and making her feel safe. If she presses those buttons so many times and she just cannot get a reaction out of you, she will eventually, and this is hilarious, but it's true, and you might have experienced it if you've done this, she will tire herself out. She will eventually start kind of losing steam and she'll kind of be half-assed in the fight. Usually there'll be a major pinnacle of the fight right before that. So if the fight starts going to a truly crazy level that you haven't seen before, that might be a sign that it's getting to the end. And when she gets to the other end of that, she calms down. She goes, man, I threw everything I had at him. This guy I cannot destabilize. In fact, by the end of this 45-minute fight where I said some shit that I should not have said and I brought up some things that are way over the line and I definitely did not handle myself properly, he still was calm. And in fact, he was kind of smirking at the end because he didn't take it that seriously. He is that okay with storms. He is that okay with stress. He can handle pressure and adversity to the level where after 45 minutes of it, he was kind of smirking. She will melt in your arms and she will become like a little girl with you. And if you've had a fight like this in your marriage where it ended that way, this is why. She felt that masculine safety, that imperturbability, that ability to stand strong, stable, and grounded in the middle of a horrendous storm. And nothing will make her feel more connected to you. Nothing will make her feel safer than that. Now, yes, this is not going to be the course of your entire marriage because that is not okay. But do you need to take her through this process, or does she need to take you through this process a few times in order for her to actually feel safe? Yes. And after you've gone through this a few times and she believes and has tested the reality of you being safe, then when you start putting up boundaries and saying, no, we're not going to do that. I will not be spoken to that way. This is over the line. I'm not having this conversation right now. She'll actually respect that and listen to you. But until she trusts the underlying safety is there, she will not respect the boundaries. She will not listen to you. She will walk all over you and she will pick nonstop fights until she gets the safety from that fight, which is what she's looking for in the first place. Now, I know this is a completely rearranged way of approaching fights with women. This is not how most people see it. This is the reality of how men and women work. You have to prove yourself through the storm a few times before she will trust you. And if you want to think about it in male terms, you can have a leader of a combat battalion say he's going to keep everybody safe and he's going to do a good job leading. But unless he's been tested in battle, nobody cares where he went to school. We want to see, did it work in real life? And if you have a track record of being a badass, we trust you. Now, men are going to analyze the track record intellectually and say, okay, I know where this guy's been in battle before. I know I can trust him, and they're going to trust him. Women don't analyze the track record. They have to be in the battle with you and see it. But both men and women need that track record. They need to know you battle tested in order to trust you. And how she's going to do it? How is she going to do it? She's going to do it by emotionally setting you off if she can. And if she finds that she can't emotionally set you off, then she goes, holy shit, I am with a strong man. I am with a man who can handle life storms, who can protect me, who can keep me safe in the midst of all of the garbage and bullshit that life is going to throw at me and my children. That's a man I want. That's a man I can fall in love with. That's a man I can open to spiritually, intellectually, in terms of my emotion and in terms of her sexuality. She will open to you sexually. And it's crazy the amount of guys that I've worked with who've had the first fight where they handled it this way and it ended in the best sex of their entire relationship. That is not unusual at all. That is how powerful this is. So that is really what I wanted to cover. I'm going to check if there's anything else that I wanted to cover. No, I think that's good. So begin implementing that today. And remember, she is testing you for two reasons. Number one, is what I'm feeling as bad as I think it is? I can't handle it. It's so painful. I'm overwhelmed. I'm stressed. I'm in pain. I'm going to throw it at him. Oh, he's not reacting. Maybe it's not as bad as I thought. I can calm down. Second reason, I don't know if this guy can keep me safe from all of the threats in the world. And there's a lot of danger in the world for women, and this is the dangerous man that I'm going to pull onto my team to protect me from all the other dangerous men, from all of the predators, from all the economic and natural disasters and threats that exist in the world. I don't know if he can handle it. I'm going to test his emotional resiliency, his ability to stay focused in the middle of the storm, to see if I can trust him in all of those scenarios. And if she finds out that she can, she's going to melt in your arms. She's going to give you intimacy in the way that you've always wanted. She's going to give you that trust and that respect and that appreciation. And if you've ever seen guys who can kind of handle their wife's bullshit and not be fazed by it, you might notice that she ends up being a very feminine woman. Now, even if she's kind of bugging him all the time and doing some things that you wouldn't accept, you can see there's something there that I'm missing. She's a little bit crazy at him. It never seems to bother him, but she's also incredibly loving towards him. She dotes on him. She brags about him. She respects him in public and builds him up in front of her friends. What's missing? He's masculine. He's the lighthouse. He can withstand the feminine storm. So that is the single most important concept that I can share with you. I've got 15 other core concepts that we teach in our coaching program, in addition to about 150 hours of various scenarios where we show you how to use these concepts in real life scenarios depending at the stage of deterioration your marriage is at. If you want to explore more about that, book a link with my team book a call with my team using the link below, and we will get you connected with one of our trusted people. They are not salespeople. These are guys I've worked with for a very long time. They are former clients. They are people who've been trained in our methods. It is not a 22-year-old salesperson. This is a genuine consult that you're going to get incredible value out of, and you're going to learn not just about the lighthouse, but about 2 other key concepts on that call. So if you want to learn a little bit more, use the link below, book a meeting with my team. I would love to work with you one-on-one. I would love to work with you in any capacity that you would find helpful, and that is how you can do it. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this was valuable, if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe, hit all the buttons that let me know you liked the video, and we will see you very soon on the next video.